Welcome to Midnight Romance Stories. What if the richest billionaire in the city secretly fell in love with the poorest province girl? Not because she was famous. Not because she was beautiful. But because she made him feel alive again. Tonight's story is The Billionaire Who Secretly Loved the Poor Province Girl. A sweet and emotional billionaire romance filled with unexpected kisses, funny moments, jealousy, hugs, and a love that changed everything forever. So grab your earphones, relax, and let the story begin. Chapter 1: The Flower Girl in the Rain. Under the cold rain outside a convenience store, Elena sold sampaguita flowers while trying not to cry from hunger. Suddenly, a black luxury car stopped beside her. The window rolled down slowly. Inside sat billionaire Alexander Reyes. Cold. Handsome. Mysterious. "How much are all your flowers?" he asked. Elena blinked nervously. "500 pesos, sir." Alexander handed her 5,000. Elena almost screamed. "Sir. Are these flowers made of gold?" Alexander laughed for the first time in months. And at that moment, the billionaire secretly became interested in the funny province girl. Chapter 2: The Coffee Disaster. The next day, Alexander secretly visited Elena's small province home. Trying to impress him, Elena proudly made coffee. But after one sip, Alexander nearly choked. "This tastes like burnt soy sauce," he whispered internally. Elena smiled proudly. "Good, right?" Alexander forced a smile. "Perfect." Moments later, Elena accidentally slipped near the kitchen. Alexander quickly caught her waist before she fell. Their faces moved inches apart. Elena froze. Alexander stared at her lips for a second too long. Then suddenly, Elena sneezed directly on his face. Chapter 3: The Unexpected Hug. One evening, Elena walked home alone during a brownout. The dark road terrified her. Suddenly thunder exploded loudly across the sky. "Elena." Alexander suddenly appeared holding an umbrella. Without thinking, Elena tightly hugged him. Alexander froze in shock. Slowly, he wrapped his arms around her too. "You're safe now," he whispered softly. Elena's heartbeat went wild. And deep inside, Alexander realized he never wanted to let her go. Chapter 4: The Jealous Billionaire. One afternoon, a handsome farmer named Marco flirted openly with Elena. "You're beautiful when you smile," Marco teased. Alexander watched silently nearby while drinking coffee. Crack. The ceramic cup suddenly broke in his hand. Elena looked shocked. "Sir Alexander. Your hand." "I'm fine," Alexander answered coldly while staring at Marco like a dangerous lion. Later that night, Alexander suddenly asked, "Do you like him?" Elena smiled mischievously. "Why? Are you jealous?" Alexander moved closer slowly. "Very." Chapter 5: The First Kiss. During the province festival, Elena wore a beautiful simple dress. Alexander couldn't stop staring at her. "You look dangerous tonight," he whispered. Elena laughed nervously. Suddenly fireworks exploded across the sky. The crowd pushed forward accidentally, causing Elena to trip. Alexander caught her immediately. Their faces moved closer. 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 Then unexpectedly, Alexander kissed her softly beneath the fireworks. Elena's eyes widened completely. And for several seconds, the world disappeared around them. Chapter 6: The Sweet Night Drive. Unable to sleep, Alexander secretly took Elena on a midnight drive through the city. Elena pressed her face against the car window excitedly. "Everything's so beautiful." Alexander smiled while watching her instead of the road. Later, they stopped beside a quiet overlooking view. Cold wind surrounded them. Elena shivered slightly. Without warning, Alexander wrapped his expensive coat around her shoulders and gently pulled her closer. You'll get sick, he whispered. Elena smiled softly. Honestly, she wished the night would never end. Chapter 7, The Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Sophia, Alexander's rich ex-girlfriend, suddenly appeared at Elena's house furious. She's just a poor girl, Sophia shouted. Elena nervously hid behind Alexander. Alexander sighed tiredly. Sophia, please stop embarrassing yourself. Sophia screamed dramatically before storming away. The moment she left, Elena burst into laughter. She walks like an angry duck. Alexander tried not to laugh. But seconds later, both of them ended up laughing uncontrollably together like children. Chapter 8, The Almost Breakup. One night, Elena overheard business people insulting her. She's only after his money. Heartbroken, Elena tried avoiding Alexander. Finally, Alexander found her crying beside the river. Do you really think I'm ashamed of you? He asked softly. Elena wiped her tears silently. Alexander gently lifted her chin. I would leave all my wealth behind if it meant keeping you. Then he kissed her forehead gently while holding her tightly in his arms. And Elena finally cried against his chest. Chapter 9, The Hospital Confession. Late one stormy evening, Elena got into an accident while returning home. Alexander rushed to the hospital in panic. For hours, he sat beside her unconscious body. When Elena slowly opened her eyes, Alexander immediately hugged her tightly. You scared me to death, he whispered shakily. Elena smiled weakly. Were you crying? Alexander looked away dramatically. No. Elena laughed softly. You're a terrible liar. Then Alexander kissed her hand carefully. And for the first time, the billionaire looked completely vulnerable. Chapter 10, The Billionaire's True Treasure. 1 year later, Alexander returned to Elena's province with a surprise. Instead of building another luxury hotel, he built a free hospital and school for poor families. The entire province celebrated happily. As the sunset glowed across the sky, Elena leaned against Alexander's shoulder. You changed my life, she whispered. Alexander smiled softly before kissing her forehead. No, Elena. You saved mine. And while the province lights sparkled around them, the billionaire finally understood something priceless. True love was never about money. Sometimes, the purest hearts come from the simplest places. Thank you for listening to Midnight Romance Stories. If this sweet billionaire romance made you smile, laugh, or fall in love with the characters, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more emotional love stories, cheesy romance audiobooks, billionaire series, and relaxing bedtime stories. Comment below. Which scene was your favorite? The first kiss? The jealous billionaire? Or the funny angry duck moment? Until next time. Sweet dreams, and see you in the next story.